to be talking about Scream Kings, the men of horror. I will be ranking the top 15 Scream Kings of all time. As always, this list is subjective. These are my personal favorite men of horror who are iconic to me. So drop down in the comments and let me know your favorite Scream Kings. Now, let's not waste no time. Let's get right into this because I'm ready to talk about the men's. Number 15, Tony Todd. Known for classics like Final Destination, Candyman, Night of the Living Dead Remake, The Crow, Wishmaster. If you are a horror fan, Tony Todd is absolutely iconic. He is a staple of horror. The look, the voice, the presence. I'm really excited to see him in the upcoming horror movie Scream. Number 14, Norman Reedus. Now, while he may not have a slew of classics under his belt like Mr. Tony Todd, having played the iconic role of Daryl Dixon on The Walking Dead for the last 100 years, as well as small roles in Blade 2, Mimic, and Pandorum, Norman Reedus is just a personal favorite of mine because blink and you might miss him in Pandorum and Mimic. Okay, this entry might be more biased than subjective, but he has created such a beloved character with Daryl Dixon, and even with small roles, he always leaves a mark. Who can forget him as Scud in Blade 2? I would love for him to have a little resurgence in horror with some starring or co-starring roles in film, but he is iconic to me. Number 13, Keith David. Baby, once you play Childs, you just can't do no wrong after that, okay? Known for, obviously, The Thing, You Might Be the Killer, where he just has like a little voice scene. Pitch Black, They Live. Keith David is one of our few black horror icons. Number 12, Bill Paxton, known for Frailty, The Colony, The Vagrant, Brain Dead, Near Dark, Predator 2, Aliens. Not only is Bill Paxton one of our great Scream Kings, but he is one of my personal favorite actors of all time. Bill Paxton has played some truly memorable and iconic roles, and he manages to stand out with even the smallest part in a movie. Number 11, Kurt Russell. Now, while Kurt Russell might not be one of my personal favorite actors, you cannot make a list of Scream Kings and not add the iconic Kurt Russell as McCready in The Thing. From The Thing to The Sheriff in Bone Tomahawk, Kurt Russell is iconic for a reason, and he is one of our few actors that have played an action horror star, because McCready was definitely giving action horror vibes, okay? Action hero vibes. Number 10, Sam Neill. Look, if nothing else, Sam Neill was making the list for Event Horizon alone, but of course he also has Possession, Jurassic Park, which I consider adventure, sci-fi, action, horror adjacent. In the Mouth of Madness, Daybreakers. Sam Neill is one of those people that I love to see be a villainous character. Number 9, Patrick Wilson. As the head of two iconic horror franchises, Insidious and The Conjuring, you cannot talk Scream Kings and leave him out of the conversation. And outside of those two franchises, he was also in Bone Tomahawk as well as in The Tall Grass. Baby, if Patrick Wilson don't do nothing else, he gonna sign up to do a horror movie. Number 8, Donald Sutherland. This is another actor who would make this list regardless if they only had that one iconic role, which of course I'm speaking of the 1978 remake Invasion of the Body Snatchers, one of my personal favorite movies of all time. But he was also in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Fallen, The Puppet Masters, Virus, Outbreak. Donald Sutherland is undoubtedly one of our greats in general, but also in horror. Number 7, Justin Long. Child, of course, we first met him as Derry in Jeepers Creepers with one of the most chilling endings for a character, but since then, he has truly become a horror icon. At this point, Justin Long is just synonymous with horror. If Justin Long don't do nothing else, he gonna suffer in a horror movie. Outside of Jeepers Creepers, he has also given us Barbarian, Drag Me to Hell, which is the only time he lived and did not suffer, and And speaking of suffering, he also gave us Tusk, It's a Wonderful Knife, and Dear David. Number 6, Bill Skarsgård. It is not easy to be the actor who comes behind Tim Curry to recreate his iconic role as the clown in It. But Bill Skarsgård not only took on the assignment, but excelled in it, also giving us Barbarian and Castle Rock. He will also be in the upcoming series Welcome to Derry, as well as the upcoming movies Nosferatu and The Crow. Child, Bill said, if y'all need a Scream King, I got you. Number 5, Cal Garner. It truly warms my heart to see Cal Gallner getting so much love these days, because he has been doing this horror-ish for quite a while. There is no way for me to not include him in the top 5, from The Haunting in Connecticut all the way back in 2009 to last year's masterpiece, The Passenger. Baby, Cal Gallner ain't new to this, he true to this. With Jennifer's Body, Smile, Scream 5, The Cleansing Hour, A Nightmare on Elm Street remake, Red State. I'm sure I missed a few because, baby, every time I turn around, Cal Gallner is in a horror role. And of course, he has the upcoming horror movies Strange Darling and Smile 2. Number 4, Charles S. Dutton. Now, unfortunately, my man is always relegated to playing the trope of the sacrificial Negro. But baby, I love Charles S. Dutton, and I love him in a horror film. I really need somebody to give my man a role where he ain't gotta sacrifice himself for the white character. Like, please, finally. But from Mimic, Aliens 3, Secret Window, Legion, Gothica, Charles S. Dutton is gonna bring something special every single time he's in anything, but especially when he is in horror. Number 3, Matthew Lillard. Do I need to just justify this entry in any way? Matthew Lillard has had a career that has spanned far beyond his iconic role as Stu Macher in Scream, but of course, he will always be solidified as a Scream King because of that role, as well as my personal favorite, 13 Ghosts. And recently, he played in Five Nights at Freddy's. Baby, let's get him in more horror, okay? Number 2, Josh Hartnett. Baby, you could not tell me I was not gonna marry Josh Hartnett when I was a kid. From H2O to The Faculty and 30 Days of Night. Now, he hasn't done a ton of horror, but when he does, it is truly iconic. Josh Hartnett also played in the greatest horror series of all time, Penny Dreadful. My God. The chokehold that TV show used to have on me. And of course, he is starring in the upcoming thriller horror Trap, which I have not had the pleasure of seeing yet, but the one that rises above them all. Coming in at number 1, our number 1 Scream King of them all, Ethan Hawke. Now, this might be biased because Ethan Hawke is one of my favorite actors just in general, but I think he fits so well in horror, and when he does show up, it is going to be iconic. Sinister, The Black Phone, The Purge, Daybreakers, and I really want to include his role in Taking Lives, which, yes, I know that's a psychological crime thriller, but Ethan Hawke's villain character was definitely giving me horror villain vibes. That is my 15 greatest final guys of all time. Now, the only issue I think anyone might have with this list is the fact that I did not include Bruce Campbell, famous for playing Ash in The Evil Dead. Now, The Evil Dead holds a special place in my heart because it is one of the first horror movies I ever saw. And from my memory, it is the first horror movie I ever saw. But I am not the biggest Evil Dead fan. But hey, comment and let me know what you thought of my list. Also, check out episode 6 of KillerCon, where we talked all things Scream Kings and Final Guys. You can check out the KillerCon playlist on my channel, and I will also include it in the description box and on the end screen. If you are not familiar, KillerCon, where we have Killer Conversation, is my weekly live horror panel that I do every Saturday, 5 p.m. Central. But that is it for today. I will see you in the next one. Now, hold on, because I had to come back here for a second because it's some props that I gotta give Josh Hartnett on this list, because H2O was the first Halloween movie I ever saw in life. I think I was 11 or 12 when H2O came out. I saw it in theaters with my mother, and I'm not the biggest Halloween fan. Like, I can appreciate it, but just, I'm not the biggest fan. But H2O gonna always hold a place in my heart. And baby Josh Hartnett brought me to the Halloween franchise, so I just had to shout that out. But one thing I adore in horror are the Scream Kings, are the men's, okay? I love the men in horror, especially when they don't show up as the tropey, useless men in horror who never believe the protagonist when it's a female and she's trying to tell you something going on, but they're not listening. Yes, Dad and Orphan, I am talking to you. But these are just some of my personal favorite men that I love to see in horror. And I can admit, okay, that my greatest Scream Kings list is biased as hell. But I mean, it's my channel, it's my video. I'm talking about what I like, so it's going to be biased. But I would love to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions on my personal top 15 greatest Scream Kings of all time. And I would love to hear some of yours. I'm sure it's probably some people I forgot about, but I didn't forget about the greats. The greats in my book. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. And I'm back again because speaking of Scream Kings, the Scream Kings we got to shout out is them kids in It 2017, which I started to see for the first time last week. I got annoyed about an hour into it because I hate a bully trope, but we will be doing a watch along Thursday, 2 days from now. I am filming this on Tuesday. It will be up on Tuesday, August 6th. We will have our It 2017 watch along on August 8th. So I would love to see you there. Now y'all voted. Like 83 of y'all voted. It 2017 won for our watch along. So let's get into it. I want to see y'all in that live running it up because 83 of y'all voted. So come on, let's watch it. And also let me know what our next watch along should be. Some of the other movies that was in the poll for our watch along that did not win: Mimic, Green Room, I'm forgetting some others, but I did have people say, well, hey, those are great gems as well. So if they get enough interest, we can do watch alongs for those as well. I also have the original It miniseries DVD. Maybe we should do a watch along of that. Let me know. Comment if you're watching the video. Comment if you got something to say. Comment if you want me to know your opinion. Comment if you want to have input in our next watch along. Comment. Or if you enjoyed the content and you just want me to know that you are here, comment. I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know that you're here, how you found the channel, how long you've been with the channel. For real this time, I got to go, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.